Hi, Len here. Let's get some decking on. The last couple of episodes we put the piles, bearers and joists together, and today we're finally going to start putting the decking on, and I'm going to show you some tricks that get it looking absolutely mint. Before I start laying out the decking, what I'm going to do is just quickly go across with the straight edge, check that everything's where it should be. Now the house is almost done and the cleaners are here, so excuse the noise of the vacuum. Right, so when it comes to layout, there's a whole bunch of steps we need to do before we can get started. One, we need to start our first datum board. So we don't put down the end board because that needs a mitre on it for the border, but we mark where that's going to lie and everything gets measured off that. And from there we plan what boards we're going to use where. Because when you get decking delivered, they won't give you all full length. So we've got a big mix. It's not too bad. We've got some decent lengths and some shorter ones. A lesson I learned on the first deck I did with Chris, which was with Vitex, which was all, I think the longest lengths we had were about 3.3 meters, is you need to establish your pattern early. So what we tend to do is our datum board, so every fifth board we put down, they are all the same joined in the same places, and then we figure out the pattern in between the lengths that we've got. I mentioned last week our end board overhangs our boundary joist, so we've got a board that will sit on the face, so that's 20 mil thick, and then you want the top board sticking 5 mil over that, so 5 mil quick. The reason for that is if it's 4 mil or 6 mil, you're not going to set, whereas if you try to get it perfect and it's not, or the timber moves, as it will look horrible. So the number we're looking at is 515 because our boards are 140 minus that 20 plus 5 gives us 515 from the edge. Did I say 515? 150. Because we've got these columns here, I can't get a string line down there. So what I'm going to do is offset it back to the next datum, 5 boards back. So each board is 140 plus a 3 mil gap. Plus the 115 I'm coming back already. So I'm going to set up my string 830 back from the edge. I'm not going to chalk it at this point because I just want to double check things. I may need to adjust things in or out just slightly. I would hate to start laying down boards and then realise it doesn't work. So we've got 1 mil variation across there, which is nothing. Our quirt will hide that, so I'm not concerned. I also want to check the parallel off the house. Because that plaster is not even, I might just check off this window. 3666. That's 5 mil difference there. So yeah, I'm going to have to correct these boards out. Right, I can chalk that now and start laying some datum boards.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
Is that your car? The blue one?
Yeah.
Do you reckon I could steal your letter for a little bit?
Oh yeah?
Oh, thank you so
Just
much.
give us a sec. Don't mind being on my video, do you? I make YouTube videos.
Oh no, it's alright. Thank you.
Hang a chalk line. So I've just made this wee jig here for the screw holes. Put it on the end of the board, drill your holes through. So I've fixed that joist at that end to hold it plumb because there's a little bit of a twist in it. And I'm just going to put a chalk line right down the middle, and this becomes my datum for that first screw line and then all the screw lines going down that way. We line it up there. And then I want to get that end in the centre of a joist at the 400 spacings. I'm going to mark out where the end of this board's going to sit. Right, now what we do here is just put one screw in so that when it comes to moving that end around, it's a lot easier. And now we can start doing things from that end. I just line this up with the chalk. Sweet, that's one board down. I'll carry on doing that row of datums and do the rest. It'll go down pretty quickly from now on. So if you're wondering why I need to creep that out, it's not because we've set up the deck roll. We've actually set it up that way intentionally because that is the longest run there and we've set it up parallel off that wall. We couldn't set it up parallel off both, and the plaster and so forth is just out there a few millimeters. So we've got the best by paralleling it off that and then creeping it out 6 millimeters over about 15 boards. You're not going to see that. We'll just show you how I'm doing these screws. So I've measured from that datum, adding 22 to the center of the joist, and then measured my 400s across here and marked them on the joist as they lie. Then I get my square and just mark where that screw wants to sit, 25mm in, and then countersink my hole. You want to be careful with the countersinker not to scratch up the surface. You don't normally need to countersink them except for the ends because it's more likely to split if you don't. You can see my mark here isn't in the center of the joist. So what I do, rather than just send it, I just bend it over because there's a little bit of a twist in this joist. And that way, if I have a join on this joist somewhere, and I've only got 15mm play each way, I can still get screws in there because taking the twist out here will straighten that top. Datum boards are all set. Now let's do some magic. There you go, that's just over an hour and that's a big chunk of the deck already cut and ready to lay. That's only part of the magic trick though. Watch this. Right, so what I want to do, stick some nails in line with my screws. Right, so I want to put a nail in line with the centre, 2 points, get our straight edge, lay that there, adjust our nails if need be, and that is going to be my first screw line. Board that sits on that line, just push it past a wee bit. Let's just stick these wedges in. So all the gaps between the two datums. So you're just pushing the boards around until the gaps look pretty even. You don't have to sit there measuring them. Just give the end of the board a tap. And that means that join is in line with where my screws will be. It's all about out of the rain, eh? I should point point out that this is not the only right way of doing it. It's the way we do it. There's plenty of other ways to do it, a lot quicker ways, but you sacrifice those nice clean nail lines doing it other ways. Once we've got these intermediate boards all set at the ends, it gets a lot easier because I can just line up the other ones to that and then just go through and screw the whole lot all at once. There's still heaps more to go. Certainly quicker with two people because you can get someone to pre-cut things and get it all ready and one person laying it on. But James is elsewhere and I didn't even have drop saw today. That was my fault, I should have grabbed it. That's the basics of decking. I'm heading on holiday for a week, so probably when I get back this will be done or very close to. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers!